We got a new deal on the board. Adrian Wojnarowski reporting that, in fact, Tobias Harris re-signing with the Philadelphia 76ers. He is signing for $180 million over 5 years. His max was $190, so that's nice. He saved them $10 million. Just bargain there for it. And look, Coach, I want to put you on the spot right away. We were talking in one of the previous segments about the fact that let J.J. Redick go. That was a big floor spacer for them. But Tobias Harris spaces the floor for them, too, and they gave up a lot to get him.
Absolutely. You brought it up earlier in the show about what they went through to get Jimmy Butler and to get Tobias Harris. They were not going to let both of those guys go, in my estimation. They're going to surround those three with some shooting, and Tobias Harris is a terrific human being as well. So you can put the ball on the floor, and we're talking back, who are the top 4 teams in the East, and they're obviously right there.
What do you expect then if you look at who, and we still don't know what they're going to do with Jimmy Butler. It could be that if other things don't work out, Jimmy could come back and say, okay, I'll take a little less money or a little bit less years. But who we know is going to be there now, we heard they're working on an extension with Ben Simmons. What kind of threat are they? And again, knowing that the Nets are now building this team over on the other side of the conference.
It's interesting,
and don't forget about Milwaukee too.
Right, as the playoffs went on, people began to paint down. They've got to have floor spacing, and that was part of what they gave up with Covington and Sarge in the deal. So a lot of these teams now with 2 max guys, 3 max guys, the complementary pieces and players that are put around these guys, because there's a lot of teams that are looking to make that big jump.
Yep.
It'll be very interesting.
I mean, what do you think about this move?
No, absolutely. They had to, right? Part of it is the cost that they...
Sunken costs.
The sunken costs, absolutely. But the other part of it also is, if we're to believe that Jimmy Butler probably isn't going to be here because of those conversations, then Tobias actually gets more valuable now, because he took the back seat last year out of the 4 guys for the most part. Now he becomes a much bigger role as a floor spacer and as a scorer. He gets to do more. And then also knowing that J.J. Redick is out the door, Tobias' shooting ability becomes so much more important. So this is a good deal for them. That's irrelevant. What's relevant is that they got him to stay.
And he is the one that they gave up more for,
yes.
Right? You could argue that what they gave up to get Jimmy Butler.
Landry Shamet, we didn't mention him earlier. That was a big loss.
That was a huge loss for them, or decision to make sure that they sent him to the Clippers. Look, what they gave up for Jimmy, you could argue, hey, we got some value from him in these playoffs, right? And that was meaningful to us, and what he imparted, the wisdom of the veteran leadership on the team. Sure. We spent our money on Tobias Harris, so we're now spending our money on Tobias Harris.
Also, he's younger.
And
Tobias is younger, and it gives you a longer runway.
And he hasn't been playing under Coach Tom Thibodeau for 7 years like Jimmy Butler, so maybe his body parts.
That's Nick's guy now. Hold on.
A little bit of a difference.
Too. I mentioned the Bucks there. Look, you covered that team for a long time. As we see the arms race in the East. And by the way, remember at the trade deadline, it was the arms race in the Eastern Conference, and we saw Milwaukee chip in, and we saw Philadelphia chip in, and we saw Boston chip in, and Toronto say, okay, we're making the move for Marc Gasol, right? That's kind of what we're seeing in the Eastern Conference here today. Milwaukee has obviously made its choice, Nick. How do you see this all shaping up, given this now Tobias Harris news?
This is the time to go and make your move in the East. The only thing that scares me with Tobias, Rach, is how much better can he be? And Amin just outlined, he's got to shoot it better, he's got to space the floor better. Jimmy, for all his flaws, has that killer instinct and mentality. Tobias is a hell of a player, but we haven't seen that part from him as much. And if you take Jimmy off that team, that puts even more of a spotlight on Tobias Harris to be a guy in that system that we haven't seen him be before. Can he do it in the next couple years?
He did it in L.A. as the main option, and Coach, that's why
they traded him, though.
Well, they traded him because they got a great deal for him
on June 30th.
And they knew that.
Because guess who they're waiting for? Kawhi Leonard, like everyone else. And they knew, and this was so smart on Clippers management part, and this is why we praise their front office a lot. They looked at the board and said, hey, we want Kawhi. We think we're going to be able to get a meeting with Kawhi. We're going to be waiting for Kawhi. We keep talking on the show that the Lakers are waiting for Kawhi. Does that mean that those complementary pieces, Coach, that you were talking about go out the door? Well, the Clippers didn't want to be waiting for Kawhi and watch Tobias Harris leave for nothing. So that is why they made that trade.
Absolutely. And so, but now that's why I want to ask Coach, when you talk about a guy like Tobias Harris, who not only, we're talking about Clippers, but also in Detroit, he was the #1 scoring option. When you come somewhere and you're asked to be not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4, as a coach, how do you pitch that to a player of that caliber?
He's a terrific talent, but like I said, he's a high character guy. He's a team first guy. So you know whose job it is to deliver the mail? It's Joel Embiid's job to deliver the mail.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the finish games, that's who it's supposed to go to. Tobias and Ben are terrific players as well. So you fall in line for the betterment of the team.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say that that's what you've heard from everywhere Tobias has played.
Yep.
Does this mean we have news on Boban Marjanovic coming too, though? That's really what I want to know. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.